going to bring up Gary Coben, who is from Evolve IP. He's going to kick off a quick video and move us on to the first presentation. Thanks, Gary.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Gary Coben. I'm the Vice President of Channel Services for Evolve IP. Evolve IP is a pure-play cloud services company. Our core competencies are infrastructure services like server, desktop, storage, DR, as well as UC services like hosted PBX and contact center. But today, we are here to talk about Cloud Connect. Do I have the clicker? Thanks. And Cloud Connect is a solution for network services that's unique to Evolve IP, but we're going to really show you an opportunity that you can significantly increase the bandwidth for your customers and reduce their cost. So I want to introduce you to a video, and then Scott Kinka, our Chief Technology Officer, is going to walk you through the solution.
Look, the internet is great. However, you've never been so dependent on it. Your organization's success is growing more and more reliant on your basic ability to connect. And when you can't connect, everything stops. Slow speeds or mere disconnects take you completely out of the game while the rest of the world moves on without you. Alright, no big deal. You could find a better way to connect. With all this innovation going on, there's got to be an internet service that suits your needs and budget, and there lies the problem. Despite all this progress, our internet service technologies haven't changed much. We only have options that have existed for years, like cable, DSL, or T1, and there aren't any new technologies on the horizon that are going to be available to you anytime soon. So, what do? Well, what if you could take all these older technologies and combine them? Like if you took your DSL connection and combined it with a cable connection, or a cable connection with a T1, you would get the total power of both, right? Their full speed and reliability together. And what if you could combine as many as you'd like, increasing your speed and reliability to scale your organization's exact needs? And what if you had a small box that could combine and manage all these connections for you so that you could easily create the perfect internet connection for your business? Well, now you can. Presenting Cloud Connect, an internet bonding solution by Evolve IP. Cloud Connect delivers unbeatable performance and unstoppable reliability your organization can count on. Give us a call to get started or visit our website to find out more. Cloud Connect. Unlock the true potential of your network today.
My name is Scott Kinka. I'm the CTO at Evolve IP. I have no problem talking fast, but I am looking at 7:23 in front of me, so I'll try and keep this as brief as possible. Why is a cloud services provider up here talking about network? Right? That's the primary question that we have in front of us. And here's the simple truth. Whether you're doing cloud, whether you're doing traditional telephony, we all still struggle from the last mile issue. Right? The cloud only works if I can get to you and you can get to me. So at Evolve IP, we focused on delivering Cloud Connect to basically flatten that out. Cloud Connect provides our customers with benefits of bonding, load balancing, and MPLS. And basically what it is we deploy a local appliance, as you see here in the slide. The customer plugs in multiple public links, and we become their on-ramp to the internet and to our cloud services. At the end of the day, it dramatically increases network speed for the customer, increases their reliability with automatic failover. And we're only using the term failover, frankly, because it's the term that we're all looking for. There actually isn't a failover process because it's constantly leveraging all the connections. It provides bi-directional quality of service over public networks, right? There's the money shot, and we'll explain to you how that happens in a moment. And then ultimately provides a cost-effective alternative to MPLS networks. So how does this work? What does bonding do? Cloud Connect bonds connections delivering greater bandwidth than traditional failover. Many cloud service providers and their customers are faced with choosing a primary, right? The way that we generally deliver to a small office, home office is, here's a T1 into our cloud, we're gonna back it up with broadband. The customer question and complaint is, how come I can't get access to all that bandwidth? We're faced with failover technologies that require us to lose phone calls, lose connections to virtual desktops to be able to get on to the next technology. The idea here behind bonding is that we make all of it available. Right? So we're not just leveraging the larger, frankly, cheaper connections as our backup, we're leveraging them in the mix. Evolve IP, as Gary said, provides desktop servers, DR, call centers, hosted PBX, and our cloud throughout the country. What Cloud Connect enables us to do is allow those edge customers to buy, and frankly, their partners, to support their customers with whatever's available. We have a recent story from one of our people here where the customer wanted it in a day, and the only thing they could get in a rural area was 6 DSL connections. We're providing VoIP over it today. All right? Now, does this mean that we won't support traditional purely public connectivity? Of course not. Does this mean that we're not still in the business of providing direct connectivity to our customers? No. What Cloud Connect gives us the ability to do is to handle those branch offices, those retail shops, those mid-market branches, 20 people, 50 people less, where the cost, frankly, of traditional connectivity is too expensive when compared with tying it to the cloud solution. Why is it more reliable? First of all, Cloud Connect detects a failed connection and removes it from the bond in 0.3 seconds. Second, and this is the real important differentiator between this and some of the other services you see out there, Cloud Connect works at a packet, not a session level. So there are plenty of solutions out there that right now are bonding technologies, and they're aware of things like VoIP, like video, like VDI, but they're making a decision on which connection to use at the point a session's established. And it's keeping it on that connection until the session's torn down, which means that in the middle of a phone call, it's really a failover solution, not a quality solution. It can't move around. This solution is actually moving packets on those real-time communications over multiple connections. Lastly, it immediately fails back within 0.1 seconds. The biggest challenge we have with this product is our customers not knowing that they had a network problem. That's a really awesome problem to have. How do we handle quality of service? It's really simple. We become the customer's on-ramp to the internet. No different than any other POP at an ISP. At that POP, however, are also our cloud services. We measure every single packet coming back and forth for quality, and which connection is used for which protocol is changing by millisecond as it goes on throughout the day. The other thing that's important is it allows us to prioritize packets in both directions. The reason why broadband doesn't work very well today, in a lot of cases, for real-time communication like VoIP, is we can always do neat things to queue up our outbound requests, but we can't control inbound, right? The challenge is somebody inside of our business goes and downloads a big file. There's nothing we can do with that. With Evolve IP's cloud at the core of the customer's network, before the internet egress, we're able to manage and throttle, essentially, the customer's behavior to ensure that the packets that they care about are the ones that are coming back downstream. Because of that as well, we're also securing the customer's network in the cloud. So for things like DDoS mitigation and large security threats, that's happening at our core and not at the customer's edge, which also gives them more bandwidth back. So here's what it really boils down to. The entire reason we went down this path was that our partners, you, many of you out there, were coming to us and saying, I would love to do business with Evolve IP, this customer would love to do business with Evolve IP, but it's a small office, and I can't get connectivity out there. There are already expensive T1s in that area. I can't make the dollars and cents work, even though we know hosted's better for this small business. These are the questions you're getting asked, and that we've gotten asked, frankly, as part of that process. Why am I paying X amount of money for a T1 when I can get a lot more bandwidth for a lot less money? And insert any other methodology in there as T1. We're picking on T1s right now, but obviously this goes to any other option that may be out there. How can I take advantage of lower cost options to MPLS? Most importantly, is MPLS the only option for the delivery of high quality voice, video, and data? And the answer to this point, largely speaking from the service providers, has been yes. This is a big one. Can I leverage my blank connection? My 6 DSLs, my line of sight microwave, my 4G card? And the answer is yes. And frankly, the device is even smart enough to say, this connection is really expensive, so don't put it in the bond. Only use it if the rest of the bond comes down, like that 4G card that's going to be usage-based, right? Failover to the failover. How do I get rid of my VPN? One of the things that we're challenging a lot of these branch offices with is getting them back home for regular data as well. When a Cloud Connect appliance is deployed, all traffic back to the core is encrypted. All right, so when you combine that with that network diagram we saw earlier, it really is also a WAN solution for these edge offices. So here it is. Reduce your WAN costs, increase your bandwidth. It's available from Evolve IP as an independent service and obviously also as a means to be able to get to our cloud. here's your action items. There's some folks around the room in blue Evolve IP jackets. Everybody raise their hand. They're carrying spec sheets and a case study that's going to be really important to all of you. If you have a question, feel free to text the number that you see here, and we'll respond to you this morning. You can also email us at cloudconnect@evolveip.net. And then lastly, $500 is going to the best tweet, most creative tweet that we get to @EvolveIP, #CloudConnect, with any questions or comments or what have you that you have about the presentation today. And with 13 seconds left to spare, I will turn it over to the panel. So thank you very much.
Great job. Great job. Okay, so before we get to the panel, this is your chance to let them know how we did. Verizon paddles, what do you think? Come on, red, green?
Get some green.
How about that? Almost all green.
Woo.
Nice job.
Thank you.
So we're going to turn it over to our panel. Shane, what'd you think?
I think it's a great product. The biggest question I have is from, you talk about how you don't know when a connection is down, which is a positive.
Yep.
Also potential negative in the fact that how do you know to call your carrier to get that solution fixed?
Yep. So anytime a solution drops out of the bond, regardless of the fact that this, obviously, we're not providing the connectivity, a ticket's opened inside our NOC and the customer's contacted with the specific information that we've seen on the connection. When it's gone down, high latency, whatever it was that we're seeing on the connection that forced it to the bond, we're communicating with the customer directly. Great question.
Jim used to work with me on network computing and other things. You got to have a good question for this one.
Yeah, I guess, well, I kind of have two questions. One, if I'm a business and I've already have an investment in some kind of traditional WAN opt solution, will this work in conjunction with that?
Yeah. And the question is, it really depends on what the WAN optimization solution is, obviously. I think where we see the best kind of meshed configuration is we have many customers who use this as an edge solution. And in many cases, you're not delivering necessarily WAN op hardware out at micro level offices and things like that. In terms of there being sort of a shared intelligence between them, this is really its own strategy as opposed to something that's going to play nice, other than these are the methodologies to get back to the core, and you could certainly build a hybrid network there.
I guess my other question is, other companies that have done some similar bonding stuff have been moving sort of into the SD-WAN side of things. Is that something you're looking at?
Yeah, there are, frankly, and as I had said in the presentation, we designed this to get after a problem, and we looked at all those. I mean, certainly the easiest way to do that would be to buy something off the shelf or to recommend to our customers to do that. The biggest challenge, and for us, the net change, was that true packet-to-packet based decision as opposed to session-to-session based decision. We're a real-time communications provider, both for virtual desktop and for voice. And frankly, you need to have it adjusting quality as you go through a phone call, right? As opposed to doing it at the session level. And that to us was the big difference between the products that we saw available on the market and then what we've developed here.
It's a cool differentiator. Dave?
So coming from the sales side, I know the two questions I always get from my customers are downtime. What if your solution fails? What do you have in place for redundancy or?
Yeah, great question. So these aggregators that the device communicates to are in all of our POPs. Right, and the device is self-healing. So if we have a problem, a major problem at any one of our individual POPs, the device will be able to phone home, if you will, to another location. And then much like any other DR solution, think of it like a router. It's the same question. We get asked that question, what if the device goes bad? And my answer always is, did you get two routers last T1 that you bought too, right? So, and you can. So they can run in concert next to each other, but it is an investment for the customer to make a decision, hey, I want to invest in a second local aggregator. In terms of the box itself, it's a solid state device made by Lanner. It's the same thing that you see on Edge Marks and many of the devices that are being delivered out there today.
Can you put both devices and have failover?
Yes. Yeah.
What about the cost?
Well, they're going to foot the cost for the second device, certainly in that scenario.
What is the cost? I don't know.
The cost ranges based on the amount of aggregate bandwidth that they want to the outside world. And that's generally going to be based on the number of connections that they're pooling. So it ranges from 2 connections at 30 meg to up to 8 connections at 400 meg. And because of that, they're ranging from 150 to upwards of $700 or $800 for a node, depending on how much bandwidth they're looking to support on the other side. And that's really a matter of they're putting in 2 connections.
So if you have multiple offices, they're smaller offices, it'll be less of a cost if they have a smaller pipe going into a 5-user office. Okay,
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Who's responsible for the initial installation?
We do all the configuration work. Customer shares IPs, public information. We do the build. We test in our facility. We send to the customer. They plug it in on site. And much like any of our other products, if they choose on-site installation, that's an upcharge, which we can deliver.
Okay.
Where does it sit on the firewall? One more question. Where does it sit on the firewall side? Is it in front, behind?
Depending on if you still deploy a firewall, and most of our customers are not, frankly, because they're getting centralized security in that regard, but it would sit next to it. Essentially, you can hang off the core switch.
Awesome. Ellen, do you have a quick one?
I think it's kind of been addressed already, but someone asks, are you active on the appliance side to eliminate a single point of failure? But I think you have just
Yeah, and that's
that.
exactly what the device is doing, right? Which is, does it do anything if there's one connection there? Sure, it can do a little bit of throttling back and forth, but the product is designed for multiple connections. And it's a built-to-fail methodology. The assumption is that of the 2 to 8 or 10 connections, something's going to go down. That's the whole idea, right? We're not avoiding it by improving network. We're avoiding it by putting multiples in and managing them appropriately.
Quick round of applause for Scott.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.